Hello everybody, this is Tony bISM Ultimate Wargaming Update. Today I'm going to show you what I've been working on. What we have here is a German helicopter. It's a gunship. During World War II, the Germans had actually been in the lead as far as development of rotary aircraft as opposed to the Allies. They had worked on several variations, one of which went into production. And I think it was pronounced the Fettner rotary helicopter. If you look it up on the internet, you can probably find some information on it. It was in series production, so I think they made around 200, maybe more. It was used primarily for observation and other things, transporting some supplies. I think they might even used it for medical purposes. But anyways, so they did develop a helicopter that was actually operational and in use. I think the Allies didn't have anything, at least on the scale that the Germans did. They also had developed a twin rotary aircraft, much like today's Osprey that the U.S. Marines use. Now the wings on that did not rotate upward and downward to give it forward flight and upward flight. It was essentially, I think, upward flight. It would rise up off the ground and fly like a helicopter. It just had the twin rotaries, and it was primarily a transport. I think it made it to the test prototype stage, so it had been tested, but it didn't go into series production. So anyways, that's kind of why I have this. I wanted to add this to the game because I thought since it is an alternative history scenario game set in 1952, that's 7 years later. The Germans, if they had not engaged in the war with Russia up until 1952, that would have given them ample time to continually develop their special aircraft programs such as jet fighters and rotary aircraft and VTOL, vertical takeoff aircraft. I really think they probably would have advanced to this point and already had developed an aircraft that would be a gunship. On the front of it, if you can see, I have right here a 30mm cannon. It would have been, probably fairly adequate for the helicopter size. It wouldn't have been too heavy, but it would also give it enough punching power. The helicopter is primarily going to be designed to attack soft targets, also armor, primarily ground targets. The Germans and the Russians in World War II did develop cannons that they mounted on their aircraft. The Germans used them on the Stukas, and I'm not sure what the aircraft the Russians used on it. It was a piston wing aircraft, a fighter, Sturmovik maybe, but they used it, and the idea was it would go into a shallow dive. It could fire 30mm shells, could easily penetrate the engine deck and the turret, top of the turret of almost all tanks. And with a short burst of maybe 5 to 10 rounds, it can do considerable damage. So they were used, I think from 1943 on, both of those countries were used them. And the Allies also started mounting cannons and rockets and things like that on their aircraft too. So this is not an impossibility. It was probably more of a probability that it would have happened eventually. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 3 air wings. Each wing will total 20 aircraft, so for a total of 60 for this production run. It's a specialized aircraft, and it probably won't be used a lot in the game. It'll be used in special circumstances. Obviously, it's a helicopter. The Germans, it won't be able to be used if there's adequate air defense on the opposite side of the Russians. So the only time it'll probably be used is if the Germans have air superiority and most anti-aircraft units have been neutralized on the enemy side. These helicopters will work fine at that point. So their role will be very specialized, but they will be used in the game. I'm going to give you an overhead view of what it looks like, so you can see. There you go. So it is a quad rotary aircraft. And I'll kind of turn one of the propellers, show you that it does move. You kind of see that sticking a little bit. So the propellers do move. The propeller does come off so that when I store it, it'll be able to store it easily. As you can see, it has the 2 support wings for stability in the back fin. So it's a little more modern looking, maybe. It may be more almost futuristic compared to the time, but given the nature of what the Germans were doing at that time with the Wonder Weapons program, the V2 rockets, the ME, I think it was 262 jet fighter, which was one of the most advanced ones at the time, and went into production. This was not something that wouldn't have came about. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at. Hope you guys like it. I'm going to do I'm going to do 20 of them here pretty quickly. Hopefully in the next day or so I'll have some video of that and what they look like painted up and numbered and so on. Thanks guys, and I'll talk to you later.